Chapter 15, Innate Immunity. An overview of the chapter is, we're going to talk about an overview of the body's defenses, the first line of defense, second line of defense, inflammation, fever, and tissue repair. Now, because that overview is really short, let's go ahead and launch into the first topic, an overview of the body's defenses. The learning objectives for this topic are: list and describe the 3 lines of defense in the human body, and explain the phrases species resistance and innate immunity. So let's talk about the body's defenses. So these are defenses against the bad guys. Now I put that in quotes because not all of them are bad guys. Some of them are your normal microbiota, but if they get into the wrong place, then they do become pathogens. So the first topic is species resistance. Just by being human, you are resistant to some of the wealth of microbes and viruses that are in the world. So, for example, suppose you breathe in a soil bacterium in dust. There's dust all over in the air, you're doing it right now. Soil bacteria don't particularly like your body. It's too warm, it's got way too many nutrients, and the pH is usually wrong. So as soon as they hit the inside of your lungs, they die. You are resistant, just by being human, to most soil bacteria. You're also resistant to pathogens that affect other organisms. I can't think of a single plant virus that infects humans. I could be wrong, but we'll say that I'm not. So, simply by being human, you are resistant to plant pathogens. And that's mostly because, going back to previous chapters, your cells do not have the proper receptors that match the ligands on the pathogens. So they can't grab a hold and they either pass through or they die because they can't infect you. Both of those goes into species resistance. The next one, innate immunity, is the immunity to organisms that are pathogens, organisms that can infect you and cause disease, but which you have a resistance to as soon as you're born. So, skin is one of them. Skin forms a barrier against the outside world, prevents potential pathogens from getting in to the nice, juicy cells on the inside that the pathogens are after. You also have chemicals that inhibit the growth or outright kill potential pathogens. And you have cells that go around looking for trouble, so to speak. They're looking for anything that's foreign, anything that's not you. Now, adaptive immunity is the resistance or the immunity that you have once you've been exposed to a particular pathogen. Here's the analogy that I use. If you're born here in this area, there are some pathogens that you're never going to be exposed to. So, why would you develop immunity to them? It's spending energy that could be better used developing immunity to stuff that you are exposed to. So, for example, around here, you will develop immunity to influenza whether you like it or not. It's circulating in the population, its antigens are changing every year, and you're going to be exposed to it. But, do you need to develop immunity to Ebola? If you never go to Africa and if Ebola never comes here, then like I said, that's energy that your body doesn't need to spend. It can be used in other areas. Now, it would be nice if we had a vaccine against Ebola so that, if you were going over to Africa to help with an outbreak, then you don't have to worry about dying from it. But that's another chapter. Because this chapter covers innate immunity, let's talk about what the characteristics of innate immunity are. It is immediate. As soon as you're exposed to something that identifies a pathogen as being other, then the innate immunity responds immediately. Unlike the adaptive immune system, you don't have to be exposed to it once to have a response. With the adaptive immune system, you are exposed to the pathogen and then the body gears up that adaptive immunity. Because of this immediate response, the innate immune system responds in a rapid fashion, faster than the adaptive immune system. And then Barriers such as skin and the mucous membrane are the first line of defense. And then the second line of defense would be cells and different things that are on the inside of the body, that are on the inside of the skin and the mucous membrane. Well, that's it for this topic. Here are some reminders of what you need to learn from this brief overview, and let's go on to the next topic.